She looked like she had stepped out of a dream, dressed in a pale blue silk dress, her hair falling in soft curls against her cheek, sound asleep on the late-night Toronto train. Most people just glanced at her and moved on, but he noticed something different. The train rattled through the city, almost empty except for a few tired passengers, and there she was, vulnerable, clutching her purse loosely as her head leaned against the cold window. He had seen too many stories of women waking up to find their belongings stolen or worse, and something inside him wouldn't let him look away. He wasn't a hero, just an ordinary man heading home from a long shift, but in that moment, he felt a responsibility he couldn't explain. As the train slowed at each stop, his heart pounded with worry that she might be left behind, alone, with no one to look out for her. He thought about his younger sister, who had once been stranded on a late bus when no one cared to help. That memory pushed him closer, not to disturb her, but to sit nearby, to make sure nothing happened. A man down the aisle gave her a suspicious look, and instantly he shifted in his seat, making it clear she wasn't alone. Every stop became a test of patience, and every stranger that walked by made him silently protective of someone he didn't even know. Finally, the train reached the last stretch, and she stirred. Her eyes fluttered open, confused, realizing she had slept longer than she intended. The announcement of the final stop echoed through the speakers, and panic rushed across her face. She fumbled for her bag, almost tripping as she stood, and that's when he gently stepped in. "Hey, it's okay," he said softly. "You almost missed your stop. Do you know where you need to go?" His voice was calm, respectful, never crossing the line between care and intrusion. She hesitated, then admitted in a trembling voice that she had a long walk ahead through dark streets and wasn't sure she could manage. Something told her she could trust him, though she didn't know why. Maybe it was the way he kept a respectful distance, or how he didn't rush her. He offered to walk her to a taxi stand, making sure she got a safe ride home. On the way, she confessed she had been at a wedding that evening, too exhausted to stay awake, and the silk dress was a gift from her late mother. It wasn't just clothing, it was a piece of memory she cherished. She admitted that she had been afraid of falling asleep on the train, but her body gave up after a long emotional day. He listened quietly, never judging, only nodding, as if her story mattered more than the time of night. At the taxi stand, she turned to him with tears welling in her eyes. "You didn't have to do this," she whispered. "Most people would have just walked away." He smiled faintly, shaking his head. "I'd hope someone would do the same if it were my sister, or anyone I cared about. The world can be harsh, but we can choose to be better." She stepped into the cab, and as it pulled away, she looked back at him through the glass, her heart heavier yet strangely lighter, touched by the kindness of a stranger who asked for nothing in return. That night, as he finally walked home under the quiet glow of streetlights, he realized that sometimes the most important thing you can give is safety, a reminder that humanity still exists in a world that often forgets it. And she, wrapped in her silk dress, carried home not just her memories, but also the silent promise that there are still good people who choose to care. The story spread no further than their hearts, but the message remained clear: kindness may not change the whole world, but for one person in one fragile moment, it can mean everything. Do you want me to also shape this into a script style? Narration that perfectly fits a 4-minute YouTube voiceover pacing.